Hi, I'm Pastor Lori Bain, and on behalf of Windsor Community United Methodist Church, I welcome you to this virtual worship space, and I'm grateful that you have tuned in. This summer, our building has played host to the Windsor String Orchestra. They've been rehearsing there on Mondays this summer, and they are sharing music at our in-person worship service this weekend. They've also given me one recording of a beautiful song that they made during the COVID pandemic, and that will be part of our worship experience here online. There are a number of folks in our congregation who are going through a season that is overwhelming for them in terms of health challenges and other matters. And today's theme is appropriate. We're calling it Bless This Overwhelming Life, which is the title of a chapter from the book of poetry that is inspiring our worship this summer by Kate Bowler and Jessica Ritchie, entitled The Lives We Actually Have, 100 Blessings for Imperfect Days. I pray that the poetry and the music and our times of quiet reflection will be a balm for your soul if you are experiencing overwhelm right now.
Hi, it's Jillian, and once again I'm reading poetry for you. For when the road is long. Sometimes when we feel lost, floating outside of what we know, who we wanted to be, and where we wanted to be, it's tempting to feel small and wonder, maybe I should just shut this down a bit. Maybe no one needs to hear from me. Maybe that's enough for now. Oh, God, I could not have imagined that this road could be so long and so hard and so daunting. Yet here I am, worn out, body and soul. I feel exposed, vulnerable, outside of what should be normal. Oh, God, I don't know what to do to make this lighter, easier, or go by any faster. Help. Blessed are we, the downtrodden, who must set aside what we are carrying and begin to feel only the weight of our own being. It's enough for now. Let our shoulders sink from around our ears and our breath grow longer and deeper, taking a minute to notice the way our diaphragm rises and falls without us telling it to. Blessed are we who cannot go on, not like this, but stand and look and ask, which is the good way to walk in? Is there an easier route? Blessed are we who listen for the voice that is both thunder and softest rain. Blessed are we at the point of utter stillness that becomes an empty space, for that voice to echo and build and resound until it becomes a place to rest and receive and be made whole. And oh, how blessed are we who are astonished to find that God's strength begins at the very point when ours runs out.
I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. I'm so glad Jesus lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Jesus lifted me. Satan had me bound. Jesus lifted me. Satan had me bound, but Jesus lifted me. Satan had me bound. Jesus lifted me.
for this overwhelming day. God, I am trying to juggle too much, but I don't know what else to do. Or who else will keep everything in the air, if not for me? Blessed are we who say, Jesus, I'm taking you at your word. I am coming to you just as I am, burnt out, craving rest, but still tempted to keep going like I always do, propelled from one task to the next, as if the earth spins because I do. But I know, deep down, that this is unsustainable. Blessed are we, quietly closing the door, willing to fold ourselves into this present moment. Slow me down, God. Place your hand upon me and steady the racing of my heart. Take this weight from my shoulders and pry these to-dos from my fingers. Deepen my breath and still my mind so that I can remember whose hands really do keep the stars hung in space. I know by my body's limits and the clock's relentless ticking that not everything has to be done, and not everything has to be done by me. Blessed am I, beginning to recognize that my edges, as well as my gifts, can shape the natural contours of what is mine to hold and mine to do. God will take care of all that you can't, dear one, and you too.
Reading from Matthew 6. Do not store up earthly treasures for yourselves, which moths and rust destroy, and thieves can break in and steal. But store up treasures for yourselves in heaven, where neither moth nor rust can destroy them, and thieves cannot break in and steal them. For where your treasure is, there will be your heart as well. The lamp of the body is the eye. If your eye is sound, your whole body will be filled with light. But if your eye is diseased, your whole body will be in darkness. And if the light inside you is darkness, how great that darkness will be. No one can serve two superiors. You will either hate one and love the other, or be attentive to one and despise the other. You cannot give yourself to God and money. That is why I tell you not to worry about your livelihood, what you are to eat or drink or use for clothing. Is not life more than just food? Is not the body more than just clothes? Look at the birds in the sky. They do not sow or reap. They gather nothing into barns. Yet our God in heaven feeds them. Are you not more important than they? Which of you, by worrying, can add a moment to your lifespan? And why be anxious about clothing? Learn a lesson from the way the wildflowers grow. They don't work, they don't spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in full splendor was arrayed like one of these. If God can clothe in such splendor the grasses of the field, which bloom today and are thrown on the fire tomorrow, won't God do so much more for you, you who have so little faith? Stop worrying, then, over questions such as, what are we to eat, or what are we to drink, or what are we to wear? Those without faith are always running after these things. God knows everything you need. Seek first God's reign and God's justice, and all these things will be given to you besides. Enough of worrying about tomorrow. Let tomorrow take care of itself. today has troubles enough of its own.
for small steps when you feel overwhelmed. Life has unraveled. All my plans wrecked. My hopes impractical. And it seems daunting to imagine what comes next. The bills that need paying, the texts that need responding to, the loneliness that seeps in every night. Blessed are you who need reminding that yes, a lot of things aren't fixable or even tackleable right now. But there's something you might try instead, taking that tiny step that might make today a smidgen lighter. Maybe not easier or necessarily better, but lighter. Being extra generous to a stranger, or hopping in bed a little earlier. Asking a friend to grab coffee, or listening for the birds instead of doom-scrolling Twitter. Setting down our to-do lists and picking up a paintbrush for no reason at all except joy. May we be people who anchor ourselves to the now, not allowing our minds to skip to the what-ifs or the what-will-happen-whens. Blessed are you trying to put aside the everything-is-possible mentality. You who know that sheer effort will not put these pieces back together. You who have taken yourself off the hook for perfection and discover rest in good enough instead. One small step, one deep breath at a time.